Okay, so I think we're just about ready to start. So without further ado. So just a little bit of housekeeping. We've got a couple more people who are going to join us as we're going through. There's a couple of people who've said they are running a little bit late. So we've just had a few minutes to settle down and get people signed up. We're going to meet the speakers in a second following this slide. And then we're going to follow that with an introduction to the market, a brief definition of what is web to print. We're going to have a very short live demonstration with some Q&As if there's any at the end, and then we'll provide you with our contact details. This is a first in a simple, straightforward webinar about web to print for the Asian market. There will also be a chance to get a copy of this presentation or video at the end of this meeting if you just get in contact with us.
Good morning. It's a hot and sunny day in Singapore. My name is Srini, and I've seen print evolve from an art and a craft to the technology on the cloud that is available on click today. I help businesses improve efficiencies and margins through technology and business consulting. I've worked with global companies, diverse technologies, and functional areas. It's great to be able to bring my perspectives to this short interaction. And I'd like to really thank Kelvin for organizing this and waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning to accommodate the timing for the Asian audience. Well, over to you, Kelvin.
I like to get up at 4 a.m. every morning here in the UK. My name is Kelvin Bell. I am the sales director at Vpress. I'm also an IPIA council member here in the UK, helping promote the print industry. I've been doing web to print for nearly 25 years now. I've installed thousands of systems globally to many brands. We currently support 5,000 brands and over 2,500 printers. So we should know a little bit about web to print at Vpress. Vpress has been going 20 years. We've got an office in Australia, we've got a presence in South Africa, and we've got a UK development office. And we're very pleased to be working with Srini in the Asian market.
So just to give you an overview of the total print opportunity, printing still remains a $1 billion opportunity for those within the market, right? Though there is competition coming from digital avenues, print is still growing in certain areas, and there are certain ways in which you can still make money in print. The global print industry is forecast to reach around $821 billion by 2022. Most transactions today are electronics and being done online, as we will further dive deeper into. Digital print is going up from 15.7% in 2017 to almost 20% today. So shorter runs, digital print, you get the picture. And global buyers of print are demanding higher quality as well as very consistent products. They do not accept variation or errors in deliveries. And Asia Pacific, which is what we're focusing on today, accounts for almost 35% of the print market. And web to print basically gives access and better ammunition to cater to this opportunity today. So a few points about the situation that we are in today, right? We're in the midst of a pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. We're already in COVID-21 now. Customers want to order jobs 24/7, and they want to avoid human touch points or human face-to-face interactions as much as possible because of the situation. Customers also are looking at convenience. Automation or print 4.0 is relevant today because it gives you the options to generate profits and hold on to margins in the print industry today. It also gives you an opportunity to ensure that our business is more agile, and we are able to reach new markets. And the mobile is starting to dominate how we kind of interact across the internet, So that's the situation, and we have to continuously evolve to kind of meet the evolving situation. As Barack Obama said, the world has changed, the world has changed, and we must also change with it.
And then when we understand where we are in the market, it's a good chance to look at what the e-commerce mindset really is. So customers' expectation, as Serena mentioned there, is 24/7 in life with everything else. The global situation is affecting our industry. People want access to the internet, and they want access from their nearest device. Instant pricing or pay and go is a positive thing because it supports cash flow. If we can get print buyers to pay for print online before they get the print without invoicing, that is a good thing for the actual print industry. Customers also want transparency. They want to see what they can order and where it is. And we, in the print market, we want to reach new markets, hence this presentation here today. Diversify into what our customer needs. So not just within print, but maybe complementary items as well. And then we've got to remember mobile. 55% of the internet, according to the latest figures, is now accessed from mobile. And this is only increasing dramatically. And countries like Italy, India, South Africa, they're bypassing the use of the internet on PCs and tablets to adopt the use of e-commerce on a mobile device. So it's not just about web to print. We have to think about the customer, we have to think about the market, and we have to think how print is moving online along with everything else. This slide here gives a really good indication of how the market has changed. Although it's based on UK figures, 2019 saw 10 years of growth in the first 3 months as the pandemic struck. The UK saw a rise of e-commerce retail sales from 20% to 34% in 2020. And according to our Government Office of National Statistics, it's been confirmed that once retail, which is a great indicator of the online market, goes online, it doesn't go back to how it was before of not being online. So online really is here to stay. And once customers move online because it's more convenient for them, they stay online.
So COVID basically has created an everlasting change in customer behavior, specifically when you look at the reduced interactions, the reduced chances that you have to have face-to-face meetings, and all the account management and face-to-face design scenarios that you were looking at earlier are probably no longer going to be possible going forward. And people have basically changed and adapted to the way in which they work, the way in which they shop. And this is not going to bounce back, though the word says not. It's going to take a long time, even if there is going to be any change. So for the next short and medium term, what has set in is more or less going to stay. And we have to adapt to this changing behavior. So we're basically looking at smaller quantities of print orders. The people will want quicker turnarounds, and obviously they'll want cheaper prices. I mean, look at the way people shop or make their trips to the supermarket today, right? They make a lot more frequent trips. They get less stuff, and they order a lot of stuff online, in fact, right? They don't get the bulky stuff with them, but they order online. So it's pretty comparable to the print situation today. So again, adaptation, evolution, and technology usage is going to get you that benefit. Moreover, there is going to be less and less demand. Like I said, there are going to be still volumes and jobs going around, but it's going to reduce, and people are going to look for quality work. There is going to be need for more resources because of the shorter turnarounds and shorter volumes. You're probably going to do more jobs in the same amount of time. So you need more human interventions to do the same amount of jobs. And basically, because of all these extra interventions and reduced total job sizes in terms of monetary value, you're going to be left with less money per order at the end of it. And basically all of this is, in a traditional way of working, going to eat into your margins, and you're going to struggle to keep your margins like earlier. So if your business does not adapt or transform or evolve to the changing situation, it's probably not going to be competitive anymore. So we're basically empowering forward-thinking printers with Web2Print to basically future-proof their businesses. This means that you're going to have all the ammunition. You're going to be able to deliver 24/7 to your customers. You're going to offer them opportunities to self-service with the tools that probably we're going to show you today. So today's print buyer, if you look at the changing situation for buying print, right? It's gone through an evolution, as they say, right? There's around 8 million people in the world, but 6.5 billion of them have access to smartphones today. Mobile phones account for almost 55% of the global web traffic. I mean, people are hardly getting onto desktops these days. It's either through a mobile or a tablet. Most shopping is done via a mobile. You open the app, you select a product, and you say, buy. At the back, your credit card is linked, and that's convenience for you. 2/3 of digital ad spend is on mobile today. So people are spending almost 3 hours every day in the UK per phone, per day. And most people today look up on the mobile and do research about a product before they go to purchase. It's a typical zero moment of truth, right? People want to look up a product, they're interested, they search it online, they find out a lot more about it. And if they still want to feel and sense it, they go to a supermarket, but otherwise they just place the order online and get it delivered in a quick amount of time. So this is the persona of today's print buyer, and today's printers need to be able to cater to this kind of behavior. If they're still working with traditional account and sales management processes, they're no longer going to be able to keep their margins. It's a technology driven but smartly run operation, today's print business.
But let's dig further into an introduction into Web2Print. So looking at the key facts, Web2Print gives us access to an existing market 24/7. It also allows us to open up new markets. So maybe our print business is more B2C, business consumer, or B2B, business to business. It allows us to diversify not only into these different markets, but into these markets with different products. Web2Print promotes automation into production. This isn't total automation from day one. This is starting to automate some of the processes that are around us, because every time we're touching a job, that is taking profit out of our business. But when we can bring automation into our business, it directly increases profit to what we can achieve. And there's 20 to 40% cost savings in order to promote this by automating part of our business. We're going to open up our business 24/7, 365 days a year, and we're going to make savings on the jobs that are coming. So as Sarini said before, we're actually increasing profit directly into our business by the use of Web2Print. And let's not forget the facts that we've just seen on mobile. We have to be mobile friendly. Web2Print also is quick to implement. It's not a long drawn out process. You can create a storefront in 20 minutes with our software. So for us, Web2Print is no longer an option. It was already something that was happening with digital transformation or the new normal. But now it's standard that our customers wish to engage with us. So as an introduction, we have our own software. Naturally, this is what we're here to do today, to give you a quick introduction to that. It's an affordable, easy to use and well-proven solution with over 5,000 brands using it around the world. It's completely white labeled, suitable for both B2B and B2C markets. This could be a little bit of a challenge for a printer going into a different market if they're just used to engaging with B2B or B2C, but the same technology can be used with different storefronts to access these markets. It's fully mobile responsive, and as Srini said before, 55% of the internet is now on the being accessed via a mobile device. That is globally, not just here in Europe. And it's fully international. We have 24 languages loaded. We support currencies, fonts with more languages being added, especially in the Asian continent. The system comes with VDP, variable data printing, the ability to ingest data and create multiple versions of a print file. So mail merge for printing that produces a suitable commercially printed output. We have an API, application programming interface, to meet any client expectations. That is not only for connectivity, that is so we can put web to print on other people's websites and secure their work coming into our presses. We have a self-serve solution, so you can set up your own storefronts once you've had training and support from ourselves, and you can create your own storefronts for any customer that's coming in. And there's no limit, there's no cost, it's not cost prohibitive in order to do that. It integrates into any workflow. So maybe you've got an MIS, maybe you haven't. Maybe you've got some kind of workflow. We can integrate into that, or we can give you a simple tool to allow you to manage that workflow into your production. Comes with RFQ, request for quote. So for anything that's not templated, where there's a job that needs to be ordered, the system can capture a request. So it's not just being sent on a fax or on an email or on a website form. You're capturing the details that you need to produce an accurate price for that customer. This is one feature that is going to be totally automated by the end of the year. As standard, we issue digital asset management, an image repository that I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes, of where you can manage images that can be pre-flighted into documents in order to make sure they're print quality for the customer, and that's 24/7. And we have a plug-in and go storefront functionality. So if you do need a B2C site and you're using something like WordPress or Shopify, you can just plug it in and set up a storefront in a very easy and intuitive way. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to swap across to a live demo. So bear with me 1 second. And what you should be able to see with you on screen is a login page for the core print system. Srini, is that okay? Can you see that?
Yep.
Always good to do a good technical check, I've learned on these webinars when using Zoom. So what we've got here is we've got a branded storefront for the core print web to print system. This can look like absolutely anything. Here we have a Kodak. We're partners with Kodak along with many other manufacturers. Here we have a login page for Wimbledon. So you can brand and style up these web shops as you need. I mentioned about B2C. We also have the ability to integrate into a WordPress environment. And we also have a API that can access a website. So we have lots of different ways of accessing a web to print. But for this short demonstration, I'm going to concentrate on B2B. So we've got a portal. We can access it through a username and password to give us the permissions to go into it. We also support something called SSO, single sign-on, and CXML punch-out, where we access it from an ERP or CRM system. But keeping it simple today, I'm just going to log into a very basic site and take you in and give you an introduction. So this is our standard interface. Let me just adjust it for the screen. You can create one of these storefronts in 20 minutes for one of your clients. So just to give you a little bit about the navigation, we've got a collapsible bar here where you can have additional functionality. as you go through some of the functionality like DAM and RFQ that I've just mentioned. And you can turn this on or off for different clients. The product is fully white labeled, so you can remove all our colors, logos and imagery and replace it with that of your own. I've logged in as the administrator. Should I wish to make changes to the site, then I can do by clicking something like edit, and I can change the font and the imagery and the links around the actual portal. I'm just going to click save that in order to close that functionality, like so. And then navigating around the top, we've got this option here, which is where I can see my own user settings, themes. I am the administrator. I'm going to go into themes in a moment. I can see what currency I'm defaulting. So as Srini said, it's 5:25 a.m. in the morning here in the UK. So therefore, I have British sterling to access, but we do support all currencies. We have full e-commerce, so we can have a payment gateway, shopping cart added to the actual software, help, and the ability to log out. And all of the information, the iconography here can be amended to look and say whatever you want it to be. This is just a standard example. Just to show you how quick it is to create a storefront, I'm going to go into this themes option here. And everything is very orange within the actual portal. So I'm going to go into buttons here. And what I could do, I can see an example of a button here. I can change the hexadecimal there, or I could just do a quick color swap here. I want to pick a nice blue on there. You can see the button looking very blue, and I'm going to make it very round. So I'm not a programmer here at all. I'm going to come down to the bottom, and I'm going to save all of the buttons within the portal to be blue and very round. And as we progress through the demonstration, you'll see that the buttons now that are available are following that. That is how easy it is to make changes. If I want to add homepage iconography or dashboarding for mobile users, I can simply just add that to the actual software. Very easy. So I'm going to progress to the homepage once more. And you can see now that the buttons now are that nice blue that I've just changed them to. So the categories on this site are organized in a particular way, but we can change it. We can have multiple products or the same product in different folders based around any way that you wish for your client. And you've got an unlimited number of users, unlimited number of products, and an unlimited number of folders. It's entirely up to you. This site, as I mentioned before, takes about 20 minutes to create. So I'm going to start off with the most simple of all items, which is stock products. So I'm coming in here. I can manage non-printed stock. So I can go into that folder. I can see items that I've currently got in there. I'm going to look at something like a rucksack. Again, the blue theme follows me. I can make items favorite, or I can pick and pack as I wish to go through. Here, I'm just going to look at something that I've got to see if it's available for me. As it loads the shopping cart, you can see this is quite a complex product, even though it's a non-variable product. So the price and taxation remains on screen at the top. We've got some additional detail about the measurements here. I can scroll down here. I can look around the object as I wish. The price remains wherever I go to on screen. The price remains on screen, and I can see there's 0 items of these on stock. So I can't order this item. But if I just go back and I look at some other products that do have a quantity available, I could go into this packaging item here. I can see there's a pack of 12 and I'm allowed to order 50, and I'm going to order 5 of those and add them to my basket. So the system can not only manage stock volumes, it can allow whether products are available or not. Just to go back to the home page, back into stock products, look at something that's more print related. I'm going to go into printed stock, which is just another category here. I'm going to look at this A4 NCR pad. I get an image on screen, as you would expect. It comes in packs of 20. There's 44,600 currently in stock. That is either the system managing that volume, or it's talking to the MIS or warehousing system. I'm going to order 15 packs of 20 and simply add them to my basket through the blue button. And those items now are sitting in my basket. I'm going to progress to my home page. And I'm now going to look at some other items. So again, it's a simple demonstration. I'm going to look at something like a business card. So this is probably the most complicated business card on a web to print system. So here, what I've got is it's a fictitious financial company. And I'm going to create a new card for myself. So the business card proof appears. We have different editors. This is our standard editor. I'm going to create it for myself here. Give myself an MCSC, and I'm going to make myself the managing partner, and I'm going to put myself in Dubai. So the business card is created on screen. All the regulatory details are brought in as needed. As I scroll down, should I put my number in there? It's always corrected to the correct format, correct prefix, and the correct details. And the email is locked. So all I can do is enter my name like so, and it always preserves the integrity of the details on the business card. I mentioned this one being particularly complex because it's a two-sided business card. When I go to the reverse, the system will transliterate. This is only a demonstration, but it will transliterate into the character set here, which is Arabic. I don't have Arabic on my keyboard, so there is a little bit of catching up to do here. And it's taking the flow of text from left to right to right to left. And these are now editable fields. Should I have Arabic edited on my PC here, which I don't have. So, but I could go in there and I could remove those fields and it would amend the proof on screen. So just going back to the reverse, to the front, sorry, I'm now going to save that and give that a title. So I'll call it Kelvin Bell 123. I can add a spreadsheet to that to create multiple versions of the card. I can order it. I can set my quantity. Not only have I made changes to the actual business card, though, I can make changes around the order as well. We call this elements. So elements of that job. So here in the UK, the cost of that job is £27.70. I can go back and I can proof that in different ways. If I want to just have a quick look at the reverse, I can do that again. So the system's checking I've ordered that correctly. I can now change the paper stock, should I have permission to do so. I'm going for 350 GSM and it increases the price. As I scroll down here, I've got an option here to change the price, change the quantity, sorry. I'm going to go to 500 and then I'm going to add that to my basket. So it's all very straightforward and it's all very intuitive. So that item now is currently sitting there. I'm going to go a little further forward and I'm going to look at something slightly more complex. So I'm going to go into marketing, and within marketing, I've pretty much got a template for everything. So I've shown you our standard editor. We also have a dynamic editor. Now the dynamic editor will allow us to encapsulate a brand and manage the requirements for that brand. So I'm scrolling down the bottom. You can see we do workwear, and I'm going to go into this particular product here. During the past 18 months, Vpress has done a lot of medical work to support the obvious pandemic that we've all suffered from. So a lot of the products have been medically based. And this is no exception. So this is our dynamic editor. We can change and configure this a whole range of different ways. But all I have to do is to click on the actual template and type what it is that I wish to do. The brand is fully supported here. So if I change flu to vaccine, the system will manage the size of the font that I've changed that to within the rules of the actual brand. Of course, I'm not suggesting that Robert is 65. I know he's only 25. As I come down here, maybe I want to change the date. We have different date formats in different regions. All I've got to do here is click on the date, select the day I want to add. I'm going to put Friday the 1st, and I'm going to change that to an approved color of yellow. So I've amended the actual template here in order to personalize this. And I can do that in a number of ways. Maybe I want to change the hospital location, and I'm going to change that to Grantham. If I want to amend the background color, of course, I can do that as well. So maybe I want to use a nice approved burgundy. And then I come to the asset. So in the presentation earlier, we mentioned about DAM. Digital asset management, the way to manage images into print documents, is of paramount importance when people are using the internet, because people will just take images or use images off the internet and just think they can upload them into a document. Of course, that doesn't always work because images have to be a correct aspect ratio and a certain DPI in order to be produced. So what I can do here is I can click on that image. Should I change the aspect ratio of the image, it will always correct it to an approved an amount. I can change the opacity of that image if I need to. So I can fade that image in and fade that image out. And of course, I can move that image around as well. So based upon an anchor point. But what I want to do is I'm going to go into the DAM, the digital asset manager that comes with the system, and I'm going to browse other images. So as I'm looking here, I can see that there are no images. So unfortunately, there's been an update and I don't have access to that file. As with all demonstrations, things go wrong. But if I wanted to, I could bring one of these images in, but these images are not pertinent for this demo. So I'm going to not do that. I'm going to open that up and I'm just going to make that image a little bit larger. Move that across. As with all technical presentations, something went wrong, but it's all about the recovery. So I'm going to amend that background and I'm going to go back to NHS Blue and I'm going to order that item into my basket. And I'm going to call that Kelvin Ball 321 and save an order. So I've amended that. I'm back to this order page you saw with a business card. It's telling me there's a price of $12.99. As I scroll down here, it's only got one side and I'm going to order 27 of those items and it will update the price on screen. So depending on where I am on the page, it'll update at the top and it'll update at the bottom. So it's always visible. And what I can do is I can add that to my basket. So I've added that there. And just to give you one final demonstration, if I just go back to the home page and I look at a different product, we can get into the complexities of VDP, variable data printing. But what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to show you something that's being used very, very often indeed. So this demonstration, I'm going back into marketing. I'm going to let those products load. I've got lots of different items here. And I'm going to concentrate on this item here. So we do some very complex VDP, variable data products. What I'm going to do for the purpose of this demonstration is a really straightforward one. It really is just very, very easy. So I'm going to select this menu, which is a standard bar menu. I can reorder one I've created before, but I'm going to create a new one just so you can see how easy it is. And what I can do is I can change the variable information here, like before. And if I scroll to the reverse, what I can do is I can amend this here. Let me just drop my name in there. And should I be able to, unfortunately, there's been a bit of an update last night and I can't get access to it. But what I could do is I could upload a spreadsheet to the actual menu. So here I've got a list of spreadsheets that are coming in. So I'm going to select this one here. I'm bringing that in, and based upon the information in the spreadsheet, I've just created the print job. So let me look at that job. I can go into further detail by accessing the PDF. You can see I've got two sides here. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit more so you can see it on screen. There's no crop or bleed because that in itself is a variable that we add a production. As I scroll down here, you can see I dropped my name in there, but all the other information here has been created from the Excel spreadsheet. So as all menus and price lists generally start off in a spreadsheet, you can see that the iconography of what is gluten, vegetarian, and vegan has been brought in against each product. So we can see there's the world's most expensive ham and mustard sandwich there at £16.50. The spacing, the size of the font, all this has been controlled within an Excel spreadsheet. As I scroll down here, we've got a watermark on the PDF of core print. This is a variable. It could be your business, your print company, ABC print. You know, it could be whatever it wants to be as well. As I scroll down here, I can confirm what I wish to do, and then I can close the PDF down and I can add that item to order. The beauty here is that you don't have to actually send it to print. You can actually download it and print it locally. Now, a printer may believe that that is a negative thing for his customers to be able to do that, but rest assured, it's a positive thing because printing on an MFP device is probably the most expensive way that's non-brand compliant to print a product. So customers very quickly realize that actually they're better off sending it towards you. But for urgent items, it is something that is available. So I'm going to save that and I'm going to give that a title. And then I'm going to place an order. As before, it will take me to the order screen. Order screen loads, gives me a price. As before, we've got the actual proof here. So I can scroll through, just check that it's okay. It's a sense check for the customer to be able to do that. Here I can order 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. I'm going to order 50. Srini's paying 149.50 and add that to my basket. So I'm adding print products all to the one central basket, of which where I am now. I can review those items. I have the ability to send all of these items to a different recipient, a different printer, a different warehouse. Some are priced, some are not priced. As I check the order out, we have a completely configured e-commerce interface here. So here I've got a client PO. So I could have to manage a cost center, SN 0123. We can have a drop down, a list. We can check that information. So we can manage all the client's details. Indeed, when the customer comes in, they can actually bring their own PO or cost center or charge reference number into the system. I may want to capture the number. I may want to have an address book. All this information is entirely captured by the actual software. Coming down here, I may want to add a post-it note. Please print now and deliver yesterday. We know how customers' expectation can be a little bit unrealistic sometimes. So they can add a post-it note to that order and then they can check that item out. We can, of course, have a payment gateway so we can capture the payment credit card details if they need. And on a B2C site, that would be actually essential. So I've come here, order number 1141. I've got a summary of my items. And this is where a lot of web to print systems stop. But corporate goes a couple of stages further. It sends an email to me to confirm my order. It sends an email to Srini, who is my line manager, to authorize some of these products if I've gone above a particular spend or I'm ordering something that's of a sensitive nature. But when we go into reports, of which you can create your own reports, I can not only see that item that I've created, but I can go back and see other items that I've created. But one of the key things that we do here is each line item that has been ordered just now, 1141, is now broken up in front of me. So as I review those products, each one has a unique order line ID and a unique status. That order line ID is generated by the system along with the status, but it can also be fed back from the MIS system or the workflow. So the customer can track their print jobs or stock items that are ordering into production and beyond. So each one of these is broken up. So when I look at the top items here, so I've got that vaccine poster. I can look at the product, I can look at the item, and I can look at what it is that I actually ordered by clicking on the report. And I can find out where that is. Is it in print production? So here's Robert, have you still not had your vaccine? He's over 25 and he can book his appointment from the 1st of October. So, you know, from within the report, we can get a status of where that job is and what that job was. We can integrate into various different workflows. So Srini, if he was authorizing this particular item, I could have a waiting for approval, which would be here, informing me that that was the case. And I can actually have a POD or a signature when that item has been delivered. All of this information is searchable. You can chronologically pick a time frame. How many orders has Kelvin Bell placed using the system between X and Y dates? It's very simple, intuitive to do. We can search for keywords within the actual software or titles, and all that information can be exported into Microsoft Excel, or it could be pushed into an accountancy system. So by default, what I've just done has already enhanced the workflow of print production. The customer has placed an order in the middle of the morning, like it is now here in the UK, or late at night from any device, because this is mobile responsive, it can work on a mobile, and it's dropped that job into your workflow, ready and optimized to go into your production. So it could have gone to a hot folder or some kind of workflow, excuse me, and I can also send that information to your MIS or your account system. That is workflow. It's doing the automation of those jobs that can be automated. So when you go to work tomorrow morning, that job will be ready to be printed, placed by the customer, and you have not had to get engaged with it. It's saving you money to do so. We go a little bit beyond that though as well. So during COVID-19, we've had to adapt the way that we work and supply web to print to our customers. So when I say we go a little bit beyond that, we've created this function here, print on demand. So email is not the best way to be sending jobs into production workflow. You know, emails with attachments can be clunky, large files, lots of difficulty in getting the right information in order to produce a price. And going back to what Sereni said at the start of the presentation, there's three things that a customer wants. They want 24/7 access to print ordering, they want an instant price, and they want to do it from any device. And this is what web to print does, particularly our core print system here. So I'm going to go into this print on demand option. And like I said, this is something we've created specifically for the current situation that we're in now, and has given us a lot of business. So here I've got an icon here. This could be anything. It could be a picture. It's just a description. So user upload product. So what I've got here, the nice blue that I selected at the beginning is now even more apparent. Step one, where's the job? Where's the job coming from? What is it you want to get a price from? So I'm clicking on this option here. I can drag and drop. I'm looking at my desktop. I'm looking at support. And within support, I've got a patient choice leaflet, which is a PDF. So I'm bringing in a PDF from my desktop and I'm putting it into the cloud securely. It's read the file. There's one attachment. It's 8 pages. It's worked out a price based upon variables that are within the actual software. These are variables that you change. Even the text here, you can amend yourself. If I want to look at those attachments, I just click on view attachments and I can see that they are full color, and I can go down there. I can add more files and the system will check those PDFs. Now the criteria that it checks within the PDF is limited to a lot of pre-flighting tools, but this comes as part of our package. We can add to that criteria if you wish to read the PDF, or we can add full pre-flighting software to that. We don't find there's a need because we can add most of the fields ourselves, and we'll continue to develop this product. But it means that the customer can get an instant price from a job that they're uploading to you whenever they need. As I scroll down, what stock does the customer use? Again, these are variables that you set. So here, I'm going to order quality for 170 gram, and I'm going to have separate cover stock of heavy of 230 gram. It's affecting the price. And this is all information that either you set or is set within your MIS system. As I come down here, it's costing me 8 pence or 8 cents to do the binding. As I open that up, I don't want stapled. I want to go perfect bound. Again, it's affecting the price. As I move down here, I want to, maybe I want to attach some details. So maybe I want to attach a distribution list, of which there could be a fixed charge. But the unit price is £5.35 for one item. I can order a maximum of 500. So what I'm going to do is put 250 in there, and it's telling me it's come to £466. Now, one of the factors here that we found as being key within this part of the system is that the customer making this transaction may have a budget of £1,000 or €1,000 or $1,000. But we don't know that. But the customer can see they get more bang for their buck. If they go to 500, it's still within budget for them. So the system is upselling what they can spend within their budget without you knowing what their budget really is. So it just makes perfect sense. It's capturing more work. And this is one of the hidden benefits we didn't realize early on. And if they want to make the job a little bit cheaper, they can scroll back up at any time they want. They can go up and they can say, actually, standard was fine. And let's just put 170 cover there, come back down the bottom, and it comes to that. If they want to amend that price, actually, I want a little bit more, they can amend that price as they wish, and they can add that to the basket. So it's a way of capturing work you might not get. It might go to another printer. It might be printed locally, or it might be going back to the office to wait for someone to collect. This is a way that you can capture that work and fulfill it back to the actual customer. So that is a very simple and basic introduction to core print, web to print. There's lots of other features, there's lots of other functionality, and there's lots of other adaptations of using our software within the market. But what I'm going to do now is just swap back to our main presentation to close off. So bear with me 1 second. And hopefully that's been done almost seamless. So Srini.
Yep, the slide is in there. I can see the slide. So what you just saw was almost a day's work done by 4 or 5 people, done by a completely automated system, completely lights out in like 30 minutes. And all of this was live. And I've had situations where I've been to printers, called them for getting flyers and business cards and retail banners printed for exhibitions. And, you know, I mean, some people get it, but some people still say, we'll get back to you, or we'll transfer the call, or send us an email, or upload a file. All of this is very, very inconvenient. All I do is I just go on to another printer who can just do what I want immediately, or it gives me access to a system like this where I can place an order, right? So customer experience and online access 24/7, mobile responsiveness, the things that Kelvin just said, I continuously repeat. These are the things that will really, really get you new customers and retain existing customers, right? So with a system like CorePrint that Kelvin just demonstrated, you get all these benefits, whether you're doing digital print or offset print, whether you're doing flyers or business cards or something else. You have the option to be available to your customer 24/7. It's a secure system with single sign-on. It fully supports out of the box, like Kelvin said. You can set this up in 30 minutes and get started with a basic implementation, or you could integrate this with your other systems, make it more smarter, enable a lot more automation, and make it do a lot more things. CorePrint is fully supported. Kelvin and me are there to answer any questions. We have local presence in Singapore for any questions that you might have, and we can get involved in any complex integrations based on your requirements. And as Kelvin said, it can be linked to workflows where you can send this into automated production scenarios. You can manage your accounts and clients with a completely offline system. So imagine in a traditional situation how this would work and how this changed because of this piece of software and technology. It can manage multiple things. Like it said, it can be your designer because of the self-service and automation and templating functionality it's got. It saves you manpower interactions. It saves you emails. It saves you those phone calls. It's giving you updates from your inventory. It's looking up your operational situation. It's finding out stock. It's talking to your financials. So all of this is integrated into the system. So it saves you all these manpower costs. It's 24/7 available. And whether you're a printer, whether you're a print broker, whether you're a marketing agency, or even a print buyer, as you can see, the web-to-print system can deliver massive value, considering all of that you saw, you know. Even from the buyer's perspective, it gives him that option to self-service with catalogs and other things. We do have customers that are running 1-person, 2-person operations completely automated, you know. All they do is set up this online web-to-print system. People are putting in jobs themselves and with simple user interfaces, and they just print and deliver and increase business, you know. I think so. That kind of summarizes what you just saw, and all the benefits were very, very visible in that very nicely demonstrated demo by Kelvin, right?
Okay, so everybody, we'd like to just thank you very much for your time. We know your time is precious. We're all very busy in these very challenging times. We're here to help in any way we can. Srini's in Singapore, myself, Kelvin, I'm here in London. So we pretty much cover the whole time zone between us. If you need any assistance, if you'd like a further demonstration, if we can help you in any way before you even purchase Web to Print, then we're willing to do that. We're willing to have that conversation. So yeah, I'd like to thank you, and take care and be safe.
Yeah, thank you very much for your time. Thanks.